What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Pulsar channel. I'm Chris Vella, and today we're going to be diving into a new plugin, Vocal Studio, in particular how to mix your pop vocals from this
9 to 5, settling down
into this.
Still two young minds in a big house.
With that said, let's dive into it. Okay, so starting us off, I've got Vocal Studio opened up here. Just remember, you can always download the trial if you want to follow along, or we've also got our walkthrough video in case you want to know some of these options in more detail. Now, taking a look at what we've got here, I've soloed the lead vocal, and this is what it sounds like without the plugin.
9 to 5, settling down.
This is with it on.
Still two young minds in a big house.
Already quite a difference. We've brought that vocal way in front. It's a little bit louder, but we've brought it way closer, given it a bit of compression, a bit of EQ to really kind of polish what it sounds like. I'm really digging the vibe overall. We're going to play with some effects as well, get some reverb and stuff on there, but let's just see what we're doing with the main controls that we've got on here. So starting us off at the top of the plugin with the sensitivity, I've actually set this to where it's in the good zone on the chorus, which would be about here.
I miss when we were kids, babe.
So it's kind of going above, below. In the verses, it's a bit lower,
Settling down.
but more or less happy with where I need it. So moving over, we've got our drive section. I would strongly recommend, if you really want to know what the differences are between these, that you just crank that drive and hear it. It's not going to sound great, but at least you know what the difference in the drives is.
Settling down. Still two young minds in a big house.
You can hear they all have pretty different characters. For the sake of this, I'm going to go with the solid state because it feels the most transparent, adding a little bit of warmth here.
Still two young minds in a big house.
You know, I can push it and it's not going to go too crazy. So I'm going to leave it between 50 and 60%, something like that. Next, we've got the gate.
Settling down.
That's pretty much set to, take out any unwanted noise. Moving on to the compressor, you can see we've got these three different modes here: natural, modern, and gritty. Natural feels the most transparent. Modern is, picking up a little bit of that compressed sound. And then gritty is going quite over the top, just to give you three different characters. Depending on the style of music, you might want to pick these accordingly. For this sake, I've gone with natural. I'm kind of between natural and modern. I still haven't really decided, but I'm liking both of them so far. This is what it sounds flicking through the three of them.
9 to 5, settling down. Still two young minds in a big house. Working late, see the sun down. Two young minds need a break now.
Overall, I really like the natural mode, natural type. It sounds really smooth on those S's. It's not over compressing massively. I've got this set between 50 and 60%, so a fair amount of compression, I guess. But to my ears, it sounds pretty clean. So moving over to the de-esser, this is obviously just going to pull back on some of those harsh S's that we have coming through. I'm actually going to skip to the chorus because that's a section where we've got some pretty intense S's going on. So let's hear that.
I miss when we were kids, babe. I miss when we were kids, babe.
So you can hear there that it's pulling those S's back. Not that they're very sharp in the first place, but at least it's just tucking them back ever so slightly, to make them not as in your face, I guess. So that's what we've got with the compression and the drive modules. So moving over to the EQ, I actually really like this because you can see here we've got a couple of presets on one side for this EQ amount, and then we've got the focus on the other side. And this is more of a dynamic EQ. Now, again, this also has its own presets, and we can pick slightly different areas that we want to EQ, or in this case, I can pick one of these preset EQ modes, and it will just, give me another version of this, which is great. I've done a bit of tweaking. This would have been analog warmth is where I started, and then I just pulled down a bit of this, brought the high shelf a bit down, and so this is what it sounds like without both the focus and the EQ.
9 to 5, settling down. Still two young minds in a big house. Working late, see the sun down. Two young minds need a break now.
So there you go. You can see that focus band working in the background is very subtle, but adding a little bit of presence in this case, but we can change it to edge or air. I'm really liking the presence, but let's just hear what the others sound like.
9 to 5, settling down. Still two young minds in a big house.
I actually really like the air module.
Working late.
Just brings out so much
See the sun
clarity.
down. Two young minds need a break now.
Sounds great to me. I'm going to leave it on that. Next up, we've got our effects. Normally, I like to put my effects on an auxiliary or a bus. In this case, working on a demo, I can be quick, and just stick the effects on here. So I've got the delay, reverb, and some width. Nothing too crazy. We've got a long plate. The delay is also quite long at 1/2. And the width, we're going about halfway. But let's hear what this is adding to the vocal.
9 to 5. Settling down. Still two young minds in a big house.
I'm really loving that. I think in context it would be good to hear how loud the effects are. So let's just hear it with the music. And I'm actually going to mute the backing vocals for now.
9 to 5. Settling down. Still two young minds in a big house.
So that's sounding great. That delay is poking out a little bit much, so I can either turn it down or I can just pull back on this filter here and make it a little bit darker.
9 to 5. Settling down. Still two young minds in a big house. Working late. See the sun down.
And I really love that. It's there, you can hear it, it's audible, but it's not getting in the way of the lead singer. It's just a nice little bit of ambiance in the background to fill up that sound, and I think it sounds great. Now that that's done, we can move over to our backing vocals. We've got some double-tracked vocals, we've got some harmonies. Let's check out a bit of both. So I've basically gone ahead and just literally copied over the plugin to the other two tracks I've got. I'm just working on the groups here, and I've adjusted them slightly. So let's start with the harmonies. There's slightly different harmonies in the verse and the chorus, but this is what we have in the verse.
9 to 5. Settling down. So two young minds in a big house.
And again, the chorus is going to be a lot louder, hence why our sensitivity is a little on the lower side.
My kids, babe. We were young, we were wild. Go through the dead of the night.
So we're trying to set it more or less where it lands in the middle. I'm really liking this. We've gone a little bit extra on the width here. I'm just going to turn it off and turn it on so you can actually hear what's going on. I'll also turn off the delay and the reverb so it won't get in the way. But this is what that width is adding.
9 to 5. Settling down. So two young minds in a big house.
Sounds really great. Nothing too major, just giving us a little bit of extra information on the sides to make that vocal really stand out. And then obviously we've got a similar reverb delay situation going on. I've actually pulled up the ducking on the delay a little bit more because these harmonies were really coming through. So that ducking is just making sure that whenever the harmonies are singing, the delay is pulled down, and then when they stop, it's bringing it back up. So this is what it sounds like without and with the plugin.
9 to 5. Settling down. So two young minds in a big house.
Also, for anyone that's interested, I'm pretty sure this vocal was recorded on an SM7B. So if you're using something similar, you know that it's a very sculptable sound in this case, and everything available on this plugin will actually allow you to get quite a decent sound out of this microphone. So there you go, sounding really clean to me. Let's quickly hear those doubles, and then we'll hear it one last time with and without the plugin.
9 to 5. Settling down. Still two young minds in a big house.
In your face, I really love the clarity that it's given those vocals. I might actually stick a reverb on here, so we're going to turn that on, but I'm not going to use the long plate. I'm going to use something short spring, studio room, one of these, just to give it a little bit of ambience. Let's try the studio room. I'm just going to crank it and see how it sounds.
9 to 5. Settling down.
Oh, that's exactly what I was looking for. Literally, not necessarily a reverb, just a bit of ambience. And that's given it to me. And let's hear it with the lead vocal in there as well.
9 to 5. Settling down.
Just turn that reverb off.
Still two young minds in a big house.
Yeah, it just pushes them back ever so slightly.
Working late. See the sun down.
Pull that low on the bit,
Two young
actually.
minds need a break now.
There you go. Sounding really good. Really loving the vibe of that. Let's hear it one last time before and after the processing and see what we've got.
9 to 5, settling down. Still two young minds in a big house. Working late, see the sun down. Two young minds need a break now.
Alright guys, so that is the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to Daniel Holmes for letting me use this song that we're working on. Also, don't forget to leave us a little comment in the comment section below, letting us know what you think about the plugin. Have you picked it up yourself? And just remember, there's that free trial if you haven't. But also, don't forget to like and subscribe. The support really helps. Thank you to anyone who's already done so. Once again, I've been Chris Vella. I'll see you on the next one.